Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today, I'm issuing a warning about Bitcoin liquidity crisis. That's right, we do have liquidity crisis. So what does that mean exactly, and why will it pump Bitcoin up to $250,000? Well, let's talk about this, and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto today. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. Bitcoin is looking strong as ever. We're right back to where we were yesterday. We went down a little bit last night, but look at where we are. 72.3. We're hanging at these levels like we're just so comfortable. Like Bitcoin has no fear, no worry whatsoever. And looks like Bitcoin wants to break upwards once again, even though it's only been, one day since we've been at this level. That's okay. That's okay. Bitcoin is strong. The entire market is strong. We got some movers today. Yes, there are a lot of movers. Bitcoin, man. If you're not excited about Bitcoin these days, I don't know what gets you excited. As for the U.S. market, well, U.S. market got some bad inflation news. Not horrible, but bad. CPI does go upwards. Okay. A little unexpected upwards trending. So obviously inflation is serious, right? Serious. And how this relates to markets is that Powell has to make a decision of when to start rate cuts. Now, we know that according to estimates and guesses and speculation that it may come as soon as May. But maybe this pushes back things a little bit until June or July if inflation keeps on ticking upwards, right? So that's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. But overall, it's not too bad. Okay, we're still at 3.2%, which means that we didn't really move all that much. But still, we're not close to 2%. And a lot of people would argue all this is nonsense anyways, because inflation, if you measure price of goods and services from a year ago, from 2 years ago, from 3 years ago, we certainly are not moving at a 3.2% average. A lot of things have doubled or tripled from a few years ago. So one could argue that all this is nonsense anyways. But what's not nonsense is the fact that Bitcoin is the greatest hedge against inflation. It has been for the last 10 plus years. And that's not going to change because nothing is going to out appreciate Bitcoin simply because it has a set supply. It's very limited and demand is way higher than, well, let's just say it's way higher than before, but it's going to keep on increasing. Okay, so that is why nothing out appreciates Bitcoin, and that is why it is the best hedge against inflation, and that's not going to change. People turn to Bitcoin now, not gold or silver, when they want to preserve their wealth. And that is only going to escalate from here on out. So our 72,000 soon will be 75,000. Soon will be 80,000. Soon will be 90,000. Soon it'll be $100,000. And that is exactly what's going to happen soon. Bitcoin has 6 months until liquidity crisis from the ETFs. I've been making a big deal about it. I've been showing you guys numbers every single day since the ETFs debuted, and they continue to eat up 300, 400, 500, 600 million dollars of the Bitcoin daily. Okay. It's adding up. We're adding up to billions upon billions upon billions now, and there's just not enough supply. It's just really that simple. Grayscale could dump all they want. Eventually, they will be done, and there will be no more. The others continue to soak up the dumping, and it does not matter at this point, obviously, because we're already at all-time high. We're at 72,000, so obviously there's a lot more buying than selling these days. right? But according to one analyst, we're really going to see that supply shock factor in when we really have that liquidity crisis, meaning that there's not enough Bitcoin to go around in 6 months. That means approximately around September of this year, maybe Bitcoin is above 150,000 then. A lot of people think that we could hit 100,000 by the halving event. If we could hit 100,000 by halving event, where will we be by September? 150? Does not sound too unreasonable then. And maybe that's when things really start getting wild because there's not enough liquidity, right? So we'll see. But as for those pesky ETFs, as expected, they just keep adding more and more and more. BlackRock added another 7,770 Bitcoin. Fidelity added 2,975. You got Van Eyck's HODL added 1,600, which is a record for them because they said that they're not going to charge any more fees. No fees. So, I mean, the inflows are absolutely massive. It does not matter. Grayscale is still selling a lot of outflows, but the others are eating it up. Basically, whatever's left eventually with Grayscale is going to be soaked up by BlackRock and Fidelity. That's what it comes down to. I don't quite know. I just don't get the GBDC thing. It's obvious that Grayscale knew that this was going to happen. That's why they set their fee. You notice, it's hard to see, but if you notice over here on the left side, let me see if I can zoom in here. Okay, you notice on the left side, Grayscale's fee is at 1.5%. When everyone else is, is 0.2 or 0.21, 0.25, all competitive. Grayscale knew this was going to happen. That's why they set the fee so high. But it's getting to a point where it's kind of silly. Like, how much Bitcoin can be flowing out, right? Like, pretty soon it's just going to be a complete 180 reversal. Or they want this to happen. Or maybe BlackRock, who is also a large shareholder of Grayscale, picked up the phone and said, hey, Michael, we need this to happen. I don't know. I really don't know what their strategy is, okay? If they really want to stop the outflow, they probably should lower their fees. But at this point, it's like they want to have outflow or something. There's no way. Genesis already sold everything they had, so it doesn't make quite a lot of sense. But imagine if Grayscale wasn't selling like 500 million or 600 million a day, right? And then you compound that with what BlackRock and others are buying, then we're over $1 billion, right, in a single day. And that could be the case coming soon when we have this liquidity crisis. I mean, seriously. It's wild to think that in the future, in the near future, not just like way in the distance, near future, that we will have $1 million worth of Bitcoin. No, not a million. $1 billion worth of Bitcoin being bought per day by the ETFs. That's a lot of buying. That's a lot of buying. Bernstein analyst says Bitcoin's 150,000. They called this before the ETFs, so now they think this is an underestimation. They originally thought that 150K will happen by the end of 2025. Now they're saying this is basically absolutely certainty, but they think it could happen in 2024 now because of the ETFs. They didn't think that there would be this much buying from the ETFs. That's, I don't think anyone did. But it's only going to keep increasing. And the White House also has a prediction showing that Bitcoin is heading to $250,000, although their time scale is a little bit off. But they have Bitcoin projected to just keep on going up until it hits 250,000. But this, according to this, it's going to hit 250,000 by 2034. So they're about, maybe 10 years off. But still, they're projecting that Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000. And why did the White House care? Well, because they want the IRS to be ready and tax the hell out of people. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, you know what? One of the things I've preached for many, many, many years is just DCA, right? and President Bukele of Salvador. They've been doing that. I mean, before you could see the green dots when he decided to just make big purchases. He did make a pretty good purchase right at the bottom. But since then, he's been doing DCA every single day. And now that Bitcoin is worth $206 million. That's not too shabby. Not to a billion yet. But the way he's going, this will pretty soon be at a billion. All-time gains, 69%. Not bad at all. When you DCA every single day, basically you don't have to worry about it. You set and forget it, right? Kind of like the rotisserie chicken machine. But you could also just be a whale too and just buy whenever the hell you want. Mr. 100, who was buying like hundreds of Bitcoin per day, decided to take a little profits around the 6th and the 8th for whatever reason, and then decided to up his buying once again and started last night. So again, this Mr. 100 accumulated $3.6 billion, profit of $2.1 billion. Think about that. Okay, they started right around the October, November timeframe. So made $2 billion, like a 2x, just by simply buying Bitcoin daily. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Is this Bezos, or is this someone? Has to be some crazy billionaire that just has way too much money. But still, you could do it at a smaller amount. It would equate to the same amount, right? Or the same percentage. But still, either way, daily or just buy whenever the hell you want. And in the long run, you'll be doing just fine. Just fine indeed. This shows the inventory, which is a little bit cut off. But overall, if you look at the inventory, bottom right-hand corner, the supply of Bitcoin is dropping like a rock since 2020, which was the peak. Now we are just going down and 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 down some more. And again, this relates to the supply shock. With the ETFs buying so much, and it's not just the ETFs that are buying. Whales are buying. Retail is buying a little bit, but there's buying from all over the place. With so much buying, I mean, it's just, again, people don't compute that there is a set supply for Bitcoin. There's only so much that's circulating. And when you add like $1 billion per day to the ETF soon, and you just remove that from circulation, I mean, pretty soon we're going to have that liquidity crisis. There's just not enough to go around. It's really that simple, right? And if you look at, because of the way we're moving really ahead of the game, okay? But we're still following the same pattern. We break through these certain levels, and then we just keep on going. So we have just broken through a pretty important level that shows that a parabolic run is here, and we're going to run pretty hard from here on out. But what this doesn't really show you is how early we are. These kind of points don't usually happen until like 6 months after the halving event. We are still a month away, so we could argue we're like a full half year ahead of where we're supposed to be. So, the pattern is the same, but the time scale is not. We're just moving so much faster than ever before. We have never seen this kind of recovery and pump ever in Bitcoin's history. It's just absolutely insane. And it's more insane if you take into account how large the dollar amounts are now versus before. I mean, a lot of people make this argument. Well, back in 2017, of course, things were more hot because the dollar amounts were smaller, right? The same thing in 2013, which is true. It took a lot less money to move the markets then. Now we're talking about Bitcoin being above 1 trillion in market cap. It takes an enormous amount of money to drive Bitcoin upwards. But luckily, there is enormous amount of money floating out there in other assets, in real estate, in equities, in bonds, in debt. There's $100 trillion out there. So even though it takes a ton of liquidity to drive Bitcoin upwards, there's a ton out there. That's the beauty. There's so much money out there waiting to come in. And of course, it's not just coming into Bitcoin, right? We see Solana having a huge inflow this week as well. And we're seeing a lot of others have huge inflows too. Ethereum is now above 4,000 as well. So Ethereum is doing well. And Solana, Ethereum will be getting its first spot ETF in Hong Kong. Hong Kong wanted to launch Bitcoin spot ETFs. Still not has happened yet, but they want to lead the way and come out with Ethereum spot ETFs. So this could be hitting markets soon. I don't know what kind of effect this will have on Ethereum. I don't know how much volume is being driven in Hong Kong, but it could be absolutely huge. And in the US, I know BlackRock and Fidelity and Grayscale, they want their Ethereum spot ETFs as well, right? So it could be absolutely huge. Huge. Telegram also recently pumped up. They're launching revenue sharing next month. Telegrams, and there's a lot of dApps being built on Telegram too. It's quite interesting. A chat program that's now expanding into dApps and revenue sharing, which is, again, interesting. You have someone like Sui that's still growing. You know, I'm going to their base camp next month. That's going to be in Paris. We'll see how it is, but there's supposed to be a lot of new things they want to announce. Also, Solend, yes, Solend is now moving to Sui as well, right? And they're calling it Sui Lend, which makes sense. Lending project. So their DeFi offerings are still expanding. So that's pretty good. And speaking of Grayscale, they are launching, or they're trying to launch, like a new Bitcoin spot ETF. They call it a mini trust. And this will have competitive fees. So this means that they're going to come out with another ETF that has like probably 0.2, 0.25 fees. Again, I don't quite understand why they need to do this, but there's some kind of conversion where GBTC holders can now get shares of now the new symbol BTC. So I don't know. Someone has to explain it to me why they have to go down this path, why they can't just continue with GBTC and just lower the fees and try to stay competitive rather than create something completely new and try to grow that while watching GBTC have a massive outflow and get dumped to hell. You know, I don't quite understand it. I don't. But that's the plan. Unless, you know, Gary Gensler has something to say about that. All right, guys. Overall, the market is doing quite well. You know, we got a lot of green still. Toncoin, I just talked about them. XRP is up, you know. That's because I played my educational video yesterday. Injective is having a good day today. You know, you got various projects that are pumping, taking turns. Overall, it's a pretty good day. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, let's see here. What did I miss? Grayscale selling a Bitcoin to BlackRock. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. You know what? Since MicroStrategy added, let's see. Where do I have the Bitcoin treasuries? MicroStrategy now has 205,000 Bitcoin after they just added like another 12,000 yesterday. But then if you look at you look at ETFs, right? Grayscale has 395,000. I don't know how accurate this is, but BlackRock has 196,000. So, I mean, in the next 6 months, what's going to happen is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is going to get under 200,000, 150,000. And what we're going to see is BlackRock being at the same numbers, like 300, 350, 400, and everything else rise up. I don't quite get why they're almost like, it seems like they've almost given up on this. And now they're trying to come out with their new spot ETF. Again, it's just like a mass exodus and then mass inflow into these others. I don't get what they're doing, but that's exactly what's happening. Drew BV, I saw your message. Thank you for that. No real announcement from the AM team to rationalize the pump. Yes, there's nothing that's happening. It could just be some random group that's pumping it. Fabian is asking about Elron prediction. I'm not a big fan of Elron Multiverse X, so, but I will say they're very early indeed. DeFi is almost non-existent, but I think they'll still recover. Obviously, they're good. I think they're gonna get back to the previous high. But they need to like start beefing up their stuff. You know, a lot of these chains I talk about, a lot of these chains are just ghost chains. They really have nothing on them. But they're flush with cash. I mean, look at their market caps. They're like 5 billion, 10 billion. They got so much cash. They don't even know how to spend their cash. That's the thing. It's like they should really have huge funds for dApp makers to come aboard, you know, give out huge grants, draw in the dApps that can drive a lot of users and volume. But a lot of them just seem to sit idle and they just have a whole bunch of cash in their treasury and they have no idea what to do with it. Any take on Shiba Inu? I'm holding a bit. It's come up a lot recently, so you should be happy. You should be happy. That's all I can say about that. How badly could Nvidia stock falling affect AI-centric token prices? A lot. If Nvidia starts falling drastically, which I mean, it's just temporary. Nothing's going to stop it. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Kulo, but Kulo is just... Kulo is on fire. I've been telling you guys about Kulo. It is now $35 million, guys, in market cap. That is absolute insanity at this point. But going back, yeah, I mean, it will, but, you know, I don't think it's a major concern, Adam. Lazaro says, I bought yesterday 2K, almost doubled. I moved it to MetaMask like you said last night. Congrats. I don't know what you bought, Lazaro. Phil Moore says, finally a whole coiner. Now I want to ape into a meme. Does Sheeb still have legs? It does, but I'd say a lot of other memes have a lot more legs. But Sheeb is it's been around. And it's a large cap, so we know that it's not going to just like rug and disappear, but its upside may be more limited because it's already 19 billion in market cap. Mike is asking if there's any black swan events. Of course, there's always random ones that could come out, but like, I don't know of any. Rate cuts, I don't know. We get rate hikes again. I don't see how that's possible. Another war breaks out or something. BlackRock decides to sell all their Bitcoin. Like there could be black swan events, but it's just I don't really forecast them. What do you guys think about Aptos? From the guys, ex-Facebook guys, again, doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on that chain. Blazo, appreciate that. Phantom top 10 coin this bull run? No, I don't think so. There's too many L2s, so no. How many Bitcoins are still on the market to buy? About like 2 million overall, I'd say. We are 2K away from 100K in Canadian dollars. I mean, basically, before Bitcoin hit all-time high in USD, Bitcoin was all-time high with so many currencies around the world because of inflation. Again, people don't realize how bad inflation is. Even in first world countries, I mean, inflation is bad everywhere, and that made Bitcoin hit all-time high around the world, but now it's all-time high everywhere. So that's awesome. Silas, Austin, Texas. Have a good day. Lazaro, okay. Any rumors about WIF getting listed on Coinbase soon? I have no idea. If I had to guess, yes. What do you think about Say and Gala and Phantom? Out of the three, I like Say the best. Kulo rug pull legit project. Brown, I've been talking about it. I know the founder, Moon Daddy. I talk to him almost on a daily basis. So yeah, it's not a rug pull project. And I could say that he's working very hard at growing it for sure. Too late to DCA BTC. No. Yes, no. No, I mean, this is tough, right? Should you DCA something that's already at all-time high? I mean, there's different opinions about this. Some will say, no, it's stupid, it's too late. You can still DCA other things that have not hit all-time high. But in my opinion, Bitcoin is still going to go higher. It's going to go a lot higher. The liquidity crisis I just talked about is not going to stop. So Bitcoin will go higher. So I do think that DCAing to Bitcoin is still a good idea, but maybe decrease it. Decrease how much you were DCAing before, and make sure that you have more cash on the side. So before, let's say you set $1,000 to DCA every month or something, maybe you could decrease to 500. Keep more cash on the side. But it's really up to you. You don't have to change. You could continue to DCA. Like President Bukele, I just got done talking about him. He's DCAing 1 Bitcoin per day. You just buy it every single day. It does not matter. If you're going to hold for long term, it does not matter. GRT and ICP, I like GRT. They're just kind of boring project, but I like them. Myro on Uphold now. Okay, I don't know how many people use Uphold. I don't know if that's worthy announcement. I saw Cock. You can leverage trade Cock now on Bybit and MEXC. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but if you want to get in on a crazy leverage, you can with Cock now. Someone says 7% unlocked today for Aptos. Well, yeah, that's a large amount. Thanks for that. What are your thoughts on Midas and its ecosystem coins? Well, one of the big takeaways I had talking to their BD is they're going to come out with a decentralized sequencer, which actually no L2 has, which is kind of interesting. So pretty soon you could stake and get a portion of the staking rewards where other L2s do not offer it. They just keep all the rewards and fees. So that's the most interesting thing that I heard him talk about. But they are branching out into other things too. They have a large fund that has grown significantly in size. So, sounds interesting. Sounds very interesting. We got 8,000 people tuned in right now. I mean, Bitcoin is just so damn strong, guys. So strong. I don't know. I just, I know a lot of people are asking, like, we're all so bullish, but what kind of black swan events can happen to drive us down? I really can't think of any. I could speculate on off chances that something huge or disastrous that could hit on a macro scale or geopolitical scale. I mean, but still, like right now, I don't see anything. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we're still at the beginning of the year, but, end of last year, and beginning of this year, I was just telling you guys, there's so many catalysts in 2024. I'm so bullish in 2024. I've never been this bullish in any previous cycle, in any previous years about Bitcoin. And look at what's happening right now. Like I can't think of anything bad that's going to drive Bitcoin down. Can we get more volatility? Can we have some doomsday drops like before in previous cycles? Yes, we're going to have those. But ultimately, we're just going to keep on moving forward because we have a supply shock happening right now. Can Manta, Jupiter, Arbitrum do a 10x from here? I don't know about Arbitrum. It should. I mean, but still, it's 10x. It's very big. Yeah, I think it can. I think it can. Homer Dickens. What a name. I'm up on my bear market buys, but still down on my 2021 buys. I'm afraid to take profits. It's too hard to decide in my situation. You know, in that case, just don't take profits then. Just make sure you have a cash pile on the side, okay? If you have a cash pile on the side, then, you know, maybe you don't have to take so much profits. What do you think about letter of credit or collateral tokens? Not my thing. And just because AMP pump does not make it good again. What do you think about Blast Network? It's number 3 in TVL above Arbitrum. They recently came out. Honestly, I don't know too much about them, but I know that they made a big splash recently. Will Kula have a pullback? It does, but it just seems to come right back up. Tom, yes. It's not good. Ponce Fam. 60% Bitcoin, 40% ETH. Should I take some profits or just hold all? I haven't put in 2 years. But I'll start DCAing back. What the F, man? The last 2 years is when you should have been DCAing. Now you're DCAing at all-time high. You started DCA? Pounce, man, you've been doing it absolutely wrong. You could have been DCAing at 16, 17, 20,000, 25,000, and now you're going to start up DCA at 72,000. So not to discourage you, yes, you should DCA, but man, you missed out on the 2 best years to DCA. New type. I mentioned that last night about Near speaking in the NVIDIA conference. Let's not jump the gun. Who knows what they're going to say. But we'll see. We'll see. How about a Bitcoin nonprofit foundation? Education for people who got scammed in crypto. Great tax write-off while promoting adoption. Go ahead. You start one. It sounds great in theory, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Giovanni, thoughts on DOT VET? I like VET. I like DOT. No, I'm neutron DOT. I like VET, but I wish they would do more for the retail investors. Bina, appreciate it. Let's see. Hopper, Paul Kim asks. What a hopper. 72 million. Okay. It's been moving today. Yeah, it's been out for a while. It just started moving. Building a private internet for everyone. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. I'll just tell you. That's been tried before. Very unsuccessfully. Peng. For Penguin. Another meme on Solana. Okay. Good for Peng. Can we see injective top 10? Maybe. There's an off chance. I don't think they're going to be big enough to be in top 10. Man, look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. moving upwards. 72.6. Our high, our previous high is 72.9-ish, just say 73. We are skyrocketing upwards right now. Man, look at the volume right here. Like, normally I don't show volume, but look at the volume. A ton of buying going on right now. A ton of buying. $72.7. Man, are we going to break 73 today? Have I heard of base protocol? Yes. Yes, I have. I mean, it's founded by Coinbase, so they have the name recognition. Jamie says, bought $600 worth of Kulo a few months ago, cashed out at $3,600, but still pumping like crazy. Yeah. I don't, like I said, I dabble in memes, but I don't take them too seriously. But the ones I do like and hold are the ones that I talk to the founders. I know they're good guys. They're not rug pull people. And a lot of people have tried to get me into other memes, and I just don't feel comfortable about them. Or at least comfortable sharing that I bought them. Periodically, I may just FOMO into something, but these days, I'm writing out Cock, Snack, Kulo. These are ones that I really enjoy. And there's a few others that I held on to, but oh my God, 72.9. Oh, 73,000. Did we just make a new all-time high again? I think we just did. I think we just broke all-time high again. Yeah, we did. We did. Look at that volume, man. Look at that candle right there. Well, I don't know if you call this candle, but the volume bar. This is what I'm saying, guys. Prior when I would make, prior times when it was a much bleaker, I would talk about 150K, 250K. I would talk about liquidity crisis. I would talk about the importance of DCAing, and Bitcoin supply going down and Bitcoin forming a new high. And it falls on deaf ears. Goes in one year and out the other. But these days, now people are realizing what I've been saying is true. These things do matter, and they will add up. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Maybe tonight, I said last night that maybe we'll wake up to 75K. Obviously, that didn't happen, but the way we're moving right now, I don't know. We got some big volume coming in out of the blue. Maybe we could see 75K tonight. I mean, 75K is just right around the corner. That's less than 5%. $100K before halving, that would be absolutely crazy. But we're only 30,000. We're only 30,000 points away from 100,000. So can we see that happen? Yes, we could. How to deal with taxes? You pay them, man. You just pay them. Find legit ways to deduct your taxes, your crypto gains. That's really the way to do it. My model is this: you don't want the IRS or any other tax agency to come after you. It's gonna be a nightmare, especially when you have millions, and it's gonna be a lot worse for you, right? So do it legitly. Don't try to hide anything. Report it, but deduct it. Find loopholes. Find ways to deduct your crypto gains. Get a really good accountant. They'll figure it out. Any advice on how to spend all this money? I like to get some advice too, because my portfolio is at all-time high. I've never been as wealthy as I am now. And it gets to a point where, like, what do you do with all that? Like, you can't just buy endless cars or endless houses or whatever. So, and it's only go up from here, I believe. So, I don't know. Jesse says that, George, I worked my ass off the entire bear market and DCA'd my ass off. I'm tired. Well, you should be pretty good. You should be rewarded now for all that hard work. Don Steve says pay bills. Well, of course, that's number one. And rule of thumb is never to buy, never invest more than you can afford to lose, which means don't buy on credit, don't buy on debt, don't take out a loan to buy crypto. That's important. Check out costs. Is Reddit beta like a VR play or something like that? Contentos. The decentralized global content ecosystem. Okay. I hate to say it, just based on this website, I'm turned off. Brow Lient. Thank you for that. Too bad we couldn't hold that 73K. We came back down a little bit. We just had like a massive pump and then back down, but it's okay. We did form a new high. We formed an all-time high just a few minutes ago. Donate to John Dean to defeat Warren and Gensler. There's no need to defeat them. They're both defeated people already. Mrs. Pocahontas. She'll be out in no time. And so is Gensler. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, Bitcoin is still doing quite well. We had a little bit of a pump. We actually formed an all-time high just a few minutes ago. But you know what? If you think it's crazy now, just wait 6 months from now when we really have that liquidity crisis, when there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around into these ETFs that are soaking up everything. Okay, so get ready, strap on, and tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, Groove D and Cradle of Sins. Okay, I'll check that out tonight. Ask me, remind me. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.